So, you've seen the first guitar in the holy trinity of Yamaha Handmades. Get ready for number 2.
Guitar Stuff with John!
Welcome, everybody, to Guitar Stuff with John. And we're here doing the second video in my series called The Holy Trinity of Yamaha Handmades. So you may have seen the first one, of course, which was the LJ36. These guitars are all handmade in Hamamatsu under a master luthier with about a dozen builders, maybe 12 or 14 guys in a single shop with no power tools, everything done by hand. I would strongly suggest, if you want to get the most out of these videos, watch all 3 of them, because I'm not going to go over the stuff I said in the first video, which was a lot of the history of Yamaha. I'll probably say some of the things again because, you know, it is what it is. I have to talk about these guitars because they're incredible. And I did allude to the fact that there's the chances of you seeing these 3 instruments in one room is nearly nil. It's nearly impossible. I have a long history with Yamaha, so it's a pure joy to present these instruments because 2 of them I'm I'm familiar with all 3 of them, but I've owned the first 2 in my lifetime and made silly, stupid choices and got rid of them over the years. But they went to players I knew very, very well, and I know where they are, and they're still being used to this day. So I can firsthand tell you that these instruments stay together for decades and decades and decades. They're just flawlessly built, amazing pieces of equipment. So the next guitar in the series here is one that I'm very familiar with, that I've had several of them in my lifetime. This is the LL36. This guitar, like the first one, is made in Hamamatsu by that master luthier and his 12, 14 students he has in the shop. This guitar is absolutely incredible. It is one of the most beautiful spruce tops you're going to find, all bound in maple, premium rosewood back and sides, maple strip down the center, maple heel cap, and this really nice 5-piece neck that they put together. You can see the strips in the back of the neck. This is real wood. It's not painted on. This is rosewood and mahogany rosewood. They used to use a wood called paduk for the dark strips, and the strips used to go all the way to the top of the headstock, but they've finessed it now so that the neck itself is 5 pieces. It goes down to the end of the heel, and it's got beautiful snowflake inlays on the fretboard, all beautiful faceplate on the headstock there, all bound in maple. Gold Yamaha tuners, which are just beautiful tuner. The machine has worked like a charm. And an old kind of a retro dark tortoise pickguard. So, like, cosmetically, the guitar is just a work of art. And where things really start to get scary is when you hear this guitar. And here it is. I want you to take a gander at this and keep in mind that this guitar costs about the same as a Martin D28, but obviously there's a lot more going into this than a standard 28. So check this little fella out here. just such incredible tone. It's incredible. It's like you can't... I would put this guitar up against any dreadnought, and it would hold its own. And many guitars it would surpass, because another really unique thing about these instruments that I can vouch for personally after years of using them, when you play this guitar for 20 minutes, it starts to get louder and bigger and warmer and fatter, and the projection increases. It literally comes to life in your hands. Now, I have these guitars on loan from Yamaha, and when I first got them, before my little accident I had, which has laid me up for a couple of weeks, which is why this video took so long to come out, I was able to sit in the studio here and play these guitars, and that's exactly what happened. When I pulled them out of the case, it was like, yeah, these are good. And then when I sat for a half an hour and played them, holy God, like they just opened up in my arms. It was unbelievable to hear the transformation of a piece of wood that's so well treated and put together. Like, there's just really not a lot of way to describe it. Robin Boucher and I, as I've said before, have talked many times about these guitars and how they're made and the legacy behind them. There's a huge pedigree. They've been building these guitars for 50 years, more than 50 now. And it makes you think, right? They've been capable of this for 5 decades and build them and put them out all the time. But yet still, people look at Yamaha and go, oh, Yamaha, put one of these in their hands and see what they say, because they will not walk away thinking that Yamaha just makes bargain basement guitars or beginner guitars or any of those kind of preconceptions we have as guitar lovers and players. So again, I want to do a few more things on this thing to just show you like the color of this guitar. I just want to play some drop D for you. And this neck is just like butter. It's so slim and perfect and fast and doesn't hurt your hand anywhere you play it. And it's true right up to the sound hole. It's just incredible. My rice move for the day. Wow. Like, even as I'm sitting here now, literally, it's changing in my hands. It starts to just explode with sound and color. And I'll do a little fingerstyle for you here, too. I want to try some of that. Such a fun guitar to play. And again, I test these guitars with the bench strings on them. I don't have elixirs on this. I think they'd even be better than this if it had elixirs. And these are actually getting a little dead at this point. But it doesn't seem to matter. Like, it just, no matter what I do with it, it's still given 100%. Where this guitar really shines for me personally is with a flat pick, you know, kind of playing hard like bluegrass. I mean, oh, it's just killer. It's just a killer guitar. So let's take a close look at the guitar itself. And so I want you to see the level of workmanship in this instrument. So here we are close at the headstock. You see this beautiful veneer, rosewood, taken from the same piece of wood the back and sides are. And ebony fingerboard, nice wide low profile frets, and this beautiful snowflake markers, all abalone. And then we start to get down into the body. Look at that abalone. That's that POW shell. And you can always tell the quality of abalone by the amount of blue in it. Green is not quite as, desirable. Ebony bridge, but plastic bridge pins. Shame on you, Yamaha. But a lot of builders are doing it because players want to customize their guitars. So we move to the back. You see the gold Yamaha machine heads. There's that 5-piece neck. And those strips do indeed go through the entire neck. They're not just on the surface. Maple heel cap, maple bound, all done by hand, all the purfling beside that center maple strip. And this guitar is incredibly difficult to film because it's so reflective. That microns thin nitros finish, it's unbelievably well done. And it's just a joy to look at this thing. The grain in the guitar is so beautiful. Look at this rosewood and that maple binding. It's absolutely flawless. The grain is beautiful and straight. There's just no anomalies in it. And look at that. I'm amazed by this back because it literally has so much kind of flame in it. It almost looks like mahogany, but it's not. It's rosewood. But again, look at the workmanship. All of that done inlaid by hand. No machines, no CNC. So there you go. There's the Yamaha L36. These also come in cutaways and I assume with pickup systems. I don't know if they're doing pickup systems anymore. The 36s that I used to own had a proprietary Yamaha pickup called the Preamp 41, which until I discovered K&K was the best sounding pickup I had ever heard. It was a dual source system with an onboard control that had a proprietary piezo and an incredible condenser mic on a gooseneck that lived inside the guitar just here. And they had a proprietary sound hole cover, which was soft rubber on the outside, but inside it was a reflective resin. And it caused the sound to bounce off of that and go right directly into the microphone, which gave you this massively huge, warm tone. And plugged in, they were an absolute joy. This guitar has no pickup, and it retails for somewhere around $3,900. So you think about that. When you're going to spend money on a guitar, and you want this little bit of extra bling, like this nice abalone trim, and gold machine heads, and this world-class premium wood selection, what's the better buy, right? To buy maybe a well-known name, or Yamaha's well-known, but what I mean, you know what I mean. Are you going to spend, a real ton of money on, let's say, a Martin D41, which is about the only thing that comes close to this cosmetically or even sound-wise? Or do you buy a plain Jane 28 for about $35,000 or $4,000? Same amount of money, really, right? The choice should be easy. And as I said before, these guitars are heirloom quality. They're going to last your entire lifetime, and your kids, and possibly your grandkids if they're well taken care of. I've been dealing with these instruments for most of my life, and I've never seen one fall apart. I've never even seen one need repair except for fretwork. When you wear the frets out, that's it. So for $3,900, it's a little bit hard to beat this particular machine. So anyhow, I'm going to leave you with that. You can see these guitars at, well, this one, these from 36 up, actually 26 as well. They're making them on order. And I should say that too, because people, this is a guitar that you will virtually buy sight unseen, but have every confidence that you can. It's one of the few companies that you can, like I've said before, if you want to buy a high-end guitar and you know the legacy of the builder, you're usually safe in buying them sight unseen. I wouldn't do that with a factory instrument. But one of these is coming from a bench in Hamamatsu, built by luthiers, under the direct supervision of the master luthier designer. So you know these guitars are coming off the bench just smoking, and they will, and they do, and the proof is in the playing. The Yamaha L36, the second installment in our holy trinity of handmade Yamaha guitars. Don't miss these. If you can ever own one, you should do it. And if you like this channel and you love what I do on here, please hit subscribe. It helps us a great deal. And if you want to hit join, you can go and become a private member for a few dollars a month to take part in all of our extra things that nobody else sees. And feel free, if you want to shoot us some bucks for what we do and you love what we do, the links are in the description below on how to send us some moolah. But you don't need to do that if you don't want to. We're just glad you're here. And we're getting really close these days to 10,000 subscribers, and I'm thrilled about that. So thank you to Yamaha for lending this to me, and thank you to all the guitar heads out there that love great guitars. There's more to come. We're working here all the time to find unique and, outside the envelope guitars that you can own, buy, sometimes for very little money, sometimes for market value of, great guitars. But I'll never steer you wrong. These are incredible instruments. And as well as everything else I've reviewed in here, I've been really lucky to have some great guitars. And my current stable of guitars is unbelievable, with Boucher, Gallagher, Recording King, Yamaha. I have my FG 180 50th anniversary sitting right here beside me that I'll never part with. I've just been really lucky, and there's more on the way. Believe me, there's a lot coming up in the coming weeks and months. Some great builders are going to throw in with me so I can show you what they're doing and give you guys the best option you can have to get the guitar you want. And there's no reason why you can't have it. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what brand you like the best. Right now, guitar is on fire, and it should be. It's a great pastime. It cures the soul, eases the mind, and brings people closer together. I'm JP Cormier. You've been here with me on Guitar Stuff with John. Thank you again to Yamaha. We'll see you next time. Hell damn yeah.